Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1Mby1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. And in support of that mission, we do these free mentoring roundtables week after week after week. This is the 576th session. Every single roundtable recording is available on our YouTube channel, 1M1M Roundtables. And on Twitter, we are at 1M1M and at Romana. These are the call-in instructions. We're going to start with some pitches, entrepreneur pitches, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A. So you're most welcome to participate. This is a roundtable, not a broadcast. A bit of expectation setting for our entrepreneurs. We want you to succeed and we're on your side. This is a safe working session. This is not Shark Tank. We're not trying to entertain people and be snarky and weird. This is a serious working session. We will work on your strategy together. And, there can always be disagreement. You are thinking about your business a certain way. I'm giving you feedback based on my experience. And if you disagree, that's really your prerogative. Your venture is your venture. Ultimately, you do what you want to do. I will give you candid feedback based on what I see. And what you do with that feedback really is up to you. So Chandan Bilagunda from Bangalore is going to pitch Kula Konnection first. Chandan, please unmute your line.
Yeah. Hi. To everyone, hi Shamala, and hi Federico, and I hope everyone's in the best of their health. My thing, I guess you must have gone through the deck. So it's about a lifestyle e-commerce platform. It's a kind of a platform wherein anything to do with health, sports, adventure, and with health, your physical and mind, whatever you have, we're going to be selling that on the e-commerce platform. And then we're going to have a couple of other additions. We're going to have an IoT section, and then we're going to have a social media section also. Okay, you want me to, okay. So the main points basically is that there's a huge amount of sporting and adventure activity, fitness activity that's happening, and these things are not connected in a cohesive manner. And as you can see on the points, we have all these kinds of ground realities wherein people can book spaces even if they are available, and they can't maybe connect to trainers or these vendors. And there are a lot of coordination issues that come up, a lot of ground realities that come up there. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs now coming up with digital products for these, but none of them have a cohesive solution. None of them have been branded properly. There's no brand communication happening. It's still a very embryonic market. So, and they are not coming up with a one-stop solution, which means that they are doing it all in pieces everywhere. So, which means that you get to have an app for each kind of an activity. So, okay, so this is the development roadmap that we have for the product. Right now, we are at an idea stage, and this is obviously the roadmap we're going to follow at the pre-seed, the seed, and from then on to the complete rollout. The rollout is going to happen at the pre-seed level itself. but we're just giving some kind of idea of what might happen in the seed and the the secondary series scenarios. So this is the go-to-market strategy. Obviously, this is quite typical for any kind of a consumer brand. You start with the buzz, you go to peer-to-peer, word of mouth of all the maybe the youth, the practitioners, sports practitioners, and also the health practitioners, and all the gym patrons or what have you. So all the customers, and also we have all these facilitators within the industry, from trainers, coaches, and all these kind of people. From there, we go into some kind to a total campaign for the users and for the vendors, and obviously the creating the brand and taking it out there in a full-blown campaign. So, along with that, we're going to have some kind of marketing events also, build-up events, and try to get on brand ambassadors, brand endorsers, celebrity endorsers, and all that. So the revenue potential, obviously, we have a 1.3 billion population. Out of that, obviously, maybe just 10 to 20% of it is into serious health and fitness. So that itself, 200 million Indians itself, is a huge market. But even if we are able to nail up to 10 to 50 million Indians onto our platform at a point of time, so that's a good enough market that we are addressing. And for the various kinds of revenue sources, we're looking at online classes through gym trainers and all that. And we have a lot of players. We need to be booked by users. And so all these varieties of facilities that are available for each section, say adventures, and then there's a category of premium subscribers. These are all the people that are coming in now, addressing the market, various digital, you could say, competition, who are making apps and also websites. Some are live, some will be going live in the months to come.
All right. I have a very vague idea of what you're trying to do. This pitch requires a tremendous amount of work, and your strategy requires a tremendous amount of work. It sounds like you are assuming that you're going to be raising money relatively early in the evolution of this idea. Is that a correct observation?
Yes. So you already have, as I said, there's a competition. We're already doing something similar to this, and I have two co-founders. One is working with a sports multinational who's making a similar product, and the other person, the co-founder, is with IoT Consulting. So we have comprehensively clarified what the product is and what it does. And we also know of a possible competition which has similar kind of products, but they have their, pros and cons.
So I don't know what you have comprehensively mapped out. Based on this pitch, my impression is that it's very vague. You really don't have a clear idea about what you're doing. And it's a very 30,000-foot level pitch. And here are the issues that you need to address. First and foremost, you need to follow a proper pitch template. This is not an investor pitch template. So you need to follow an investor pitch template that addresses all the issues that need to be in an investor pitch.
Okay, I have taken your template that was sent to me. I have created it specifically on the template that is sent to me.
No, that is not an investor pitch template. That is a pitch template for this session, and even that is not a clear pitch. Even as a short 5-minute pitch, this pitch doesn't work. Well, I'll tell you why. I'll give you very concrete feedback, and you don't need to take notes. You will have a recording available, so you can go back and listen to it. Just look at this revenue potential: 200 million Indians into health, fitness, sports. How many of them have budget to spend on something, on online classes and so forth? It's a much smaller subsegment of this, but budget and willingness to spend this kind of stuff. That's number one.
So we have the data, and there's all. So we already have that happening. That's already happening. So people are buying into online classes. They are paying for those things, and there's so there's already competition.
200 million Indians are not paying for such things.
No, not 200 million. I precisely said. So there's going to be a percentage of that. We're going into different things. 200 million Indians is the biggest amount of people into fitness, into health, and.
Look, the investors are not looking for these big numbers. Investors are looking for precise numbers. Investors are looking for precision. How do you segment the market? How do you assess total available market? Your TAM analysis just doesn't exist. Right now, based on what you've presented here, there is no real rigorous TAM analysis. And without a rigorous TAM analysis, nobody is going to touch this business. And buried in that TAM analysis, you're going to need to provide a very clear business model, pricing model analysis, and that's not something that you have done here. That we don't even understand how you make.
I have not. I do have the pricing model for each of these things, which I have not put down over here, because obviously we are restricted to 10 slides. A lot of data over here, like say my other pitch is 20, 25 slides.
A lot of that I've not done. Please listen, Chandan. Please listen and try to absorb the feedback that I'm giving you. This is not a matter of 10 slides. You have a slide on revenue potential, and the slide doesn't contain what it should contain. It is not a matter of the number of slides not being enough. So my observation is you don't really know how to present revenue potential, how to present market size. And that's something you need to learn, because no investor is going to consider investing in a company that doesn't present a rigorous market size analysis. And there is no way you're going to do revenue in 2 years, $150 million US. There is absolutely no way this is going to happen. And since you haven't presented how you're making claims which have no basis, and that kind of pitch, nobody takes seriously. So that's my first feedback. Second feedback is this slide where you were assuming pre-seed and seed. So what is your assumption? That you have a huge amount of developers, development and onboarding of vendors, beta users, etc., ERP and CMS development, etc., etc. This is a massive amount of development. Are you a developer yourself?
I have done development. I have done coding in the 90s, and I have code teams ready for that.
Do you have any idea how much time this is going to take? What is your assumption on how long is the pre-seed scenario?
For me, go-to-market is 7 months, 6 to 7 months.
I don't think you can build what you're talking about building in 7 months. And how, I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, just based on my own experience on engineering, there is no way this level of development can happen in 7 months. Unless you have, a gigantic team, which startups don't have. So this is going to take a lot longer. How are you going to finance this pre-seed phase? Do you have money, personal money available, or how are you going to manage
No, that won't happen. We don't do that at all. Nearly 20, 25 years of experience in the IT field, I would not be putting money for something like this from my pocket. Nobody can. So the point is, we got the cost exactly for the 6 months and what exactly the modules are going to be and how they're going to be put out in the market, all that being mapped out.
So are you expecting funding to do all this development work?
Yes, nobody can even fund it at idea stage from their own pocket. Nobody can do that. I mean, there are already companies which have.
That assumption is a flawed assumption. It's not nobody's gonna fund you to do this.
No,
maybe friends and family.
friends and family, nobody can put up that kind of, $200,000 for, and then burn their thing. That's important savings.
What you're pitching here is not fundable. The way funding operates in this industry, nobody is going to give you funding for a concept. That's just not happening in the market right now.
Okay. No, but because we have other teams which have got funded and who don't have anything to show for, and one of those companies has spent around 4 million, nothing to show for it. And I have been looking at this market since maybe even 15 years now, and these people have got funded for things that they just don't have anything.
I wish you all the best.
Finally, they can
raise your money. I don't think we can help you. I don't think we can help raise money for this. In my network, nobody is going to fund this.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
I'm sure you can, we are not the last word on helping you achieve what you're trying to achieve. There may be other people who will help you achieve. I'm just telling you that it's not within our power to help you get funded.
No, I understand your perspective. I mean, I have gone through your stuff. As when I was presented, I was referred to you, and also through your own channels. There's a lot of material that you have put out. I went through that. And I also started in the 90s, early 90s, even before internet came in, and the Internet Explorer and everything else came in. So we have done coding, we have done IT, we have also helped startups and things like that. So I know the circles. The whole thing is that I had to apply it because a friend of mine referred me to you because he said he had met you once. So that's the game. So I do know companies for what the ideas or whatever pitch they do. So as far as if somebody wants to have a in-depth view of things, the granularities and all that, we have the whole thing ready. We have everything ready for them to look at it and to validate it.
All I'm saying is in 1 million by 1 million, the network that we operate within, concepts don't get funded. So we don't spend any time convincing entrepreneurs or promising entrepreneurs that we can get you funded on a concept basis. We can't. That's just something that I'm not going to.
That's already been clearly. You have already specified that in your text, in all your things. You want to have it bootstrap, and we have other.
Not only that, I think in consumer businesses, in B2C businesses, unless you have some traction of people actually using the product and so forth, which is, that's why I was asking you about the time and how do you propose to cover that time period. It's actually very difficult to raise money unless you can actually bootstrap your way to some level of traction. Anyway, all the best. We'll move on.
Sure.
Thank you.
So that's fine with that. I knew how. Okay. Good. Thanks for the time.
Go ahead. Federico, you're up next.
Quick question for him before I start. What is the name of your product? I guess you left. Well, the Buyers
Go
and
ahead
Sellers,
and do your presentation, Federico.
the Buyers and Sellers Club has been a process for me. I have been a realtor for the last 14 years. I started building this product the last 10 years. I do have a protocol app already in the process. I have properties marketing in Minnesota. At this time, we're coding for 33 different other states at this time. The financials here, show the potential for an investor to come in. And these are...
Again, as a pitch, this is not how you start a pitch. What are you doing? We don't understand what you're doing, and you're putting like all these numbers that are not readable. What do you do?
I buy and sell real estate. So we buy properties and we lease them in a long-term lease, a 30-year lease, or we allow people to purchase the properties from us once we fix their credits.
Okay, and what is the technology element to it, information technology element to this?
Well, I have two businesses incorporated in one. I have the platform that's going to be an e-commerce platform that is tracking the sales of all properties in the United States, and we are going to funnel um, things that are needed for a new home buyer. So if you bought a property and you need shades or you need windows, or if you need to repair things, if you need to buy furniture, those are the things that we're going to be funneling to new home buyers through the e-commerce app. But I also do my own investing where I purchase the properties and I lease it so they can
So
purchase.
we are not in the real estate business.
I
This 1 million by 1 million is not in the real estate business. We could be in the prop tech world where you're doing something in tech with real and at the confluence of tech and real estate, which has become known as the prop tech world. That is something we work in. So let's set aside for the moment your real estate buying and selling business. That is not relevant to this conversation. What is the prop tech business that you're trying to do, and what are you looking for in this conversation?
Yeah, the platform is called the Buyers and Sellers Club, and it's going to be marketing to new home buyers. That's the e-commerce part of that's why I'm here. And I explained that clearly on my first initial email to you. And then from there on, I was invited to the pitch that I have. It's combining both projects. What I do, one goes with the other.
So I don't understand your business. And unless you can explain to me what you do in your business, it's hard for me to help you.
So
And this pitch doesn't work.
I get it. I understand. I am adding a secondary source of revenue for what I already do. So I already buy and sell real estate. So now I'm adding
Right.
an e-commerce platform that is going to track all the sales, all the new properties that are being bought in the U.S., and we're going to market uh, to those new home buyers things
So
that are needed for the house.
this app that you're talking about is a marketing tool for your real estate buying and selling business. It's not a business in itself.
It's a marketing that is going to be attached to what we already do. Yes.
But it's not a business in itself. The e-commerce portion or the app portion is not a business in itself.
It's not. This point is not. It was.
Okay, so that's not a good fit for what we do either.
Okay.
We build tech businesses. So unless you have a tech business that you're building, this is not the right place for you.
I knew that from the start, but I was invited to be here, so uh, I asked from the very first time. I said, "You are in the tech business, and I am in the real estate business. That I'm transitioning to merge the two, which is there is
Right.
nothing."
When you say that, the team interprets that as you're trying to build a prop tech venture, for which we get a lot of pitches. We have a whole prop tech track where we have prop tech investors and prop tech entrepreneurs. So it's very difficult without talking to people to figure out what exactly you're doing. And now that we have had a chance to talk, it's clear that this is not the right place for you. Okay? All right, good luck. So, folks, Muna's not here, right? Muna's sick. I will give you a little explanation of what we do, how we do, for those of you who are listening. And you are very welcome to use the 1M resources if you are building an information technology or information technology enabled service. So real estate does not fall within our sphere. Prop tech does. Pharmaceutical, biotech does not fall in our sphere. Digital health does. Clean tech does not fall in our sphere, but IT for clean tech, IoT, etc. does. So in every sphere, there is a one kind of business that has nothing to do with information technology or information technology enabled services, but others do, we fall in the information technology and information technology enabled services category of businesses. All the resources are at 1Mby1M.com. The Entrepreneur Journeys book series and the blog, which is free, are available for you to learn from if you are working within our focus areas. There are 12 volumes of Entrepreneur Journeys books that are available on Amazon. These roundtables have been happening since 2008. We've worked with numerous entrepreneurs over the last, 14 years and more, actually, because we started experimenting with other things on entrepreneurship development before. The full acceleration program is 1M by1M Premium. You do get extensive methodology guidance, a full digital curriculum. You get support with business development, potential introductions to customers, channel partners, investors, media, analysts. You get strategy consulting in private roundtables that happen every week. On the financing side, as I said earlier in the presentation when Chandan was presenting, not everything is fundable off the bat. Some things, some projects become fundable after we work on them, and then we send them to investors. And then there is a category of businesses that never become fundable because they don't follow the trajectory of 0 to 100 million in 5 to 7 years, that kind of growth pace. So I would say that the vast majority of businesses don't follow this hyper-growth pattern. As a result, over 99% of the businesses out there are not actually venture financeable. There may be other kinds of financing, bank financing, some sort of inventory financing. So there are different kinds of alternative financing available for certain kinds of linear growth businesses. So all that needs to be taken into account in determining what is the right path for your venture to move forward. And we do all that in 1M1M Premium. The self-assessment is your due diligence guidance tool. It's free, it's available on the blog. If you're planning to pitch to investors, please go through the due diligence material and see if you can answer these questions. There is a bootstrapping course. It's a free 1-hour bootstrapping course on the blog that we also recommend that you go through to understand how we operate, our philosophy. Another body of learning material is on Udemy. We have about 30 courses on Udemy that you can also use to learn. And then 1M Basic is our curriculum-only option. And you can do self-learning on the 1M curriculum at your own pace, as much as you want. You can spend as much time as you want, as little time as you want. You can subscribe for as long as you want. This is your way of augmenting your current knowledge, plugging gaps in your startup knowledge. The first-time entrepreneur's journey is a very steep learning curve. So if you follow the material, it would be easier for you to put one foot before the other. So go to the website, dig around, look at what to expect from Premium, what to expect from Basic, FAQs, video FAQs, description of the curriculum. It is a case study-based program. We have thousands of successful entrepreneurs and their case studies. And we are, they have been very generous. We have been very proactive in bringing you all of this so that you can, as a first-time entrepreneur, ride on the shoulder of giants who have done it before. The investor introduction policy is a very important thing for you to go look up, because please do not come to 1M with the false impression that you join the program and we immediately send you to investors. Most people who join the program are not ready to be introduced to investors. We have to work with you and get you ready to send you to investors. And then there's the notion of investor-entrepreneur fit. So So not all investors invest in everything. You know, as we're talking about prop tech, there's a whole category of investors who would look at prop tech deals. There's a whole different category who would look at digital health deals, and these are not necessarily intersection sets. Our mantra is don't go to investors as beggars, go as kings. If you go with unvalidated businesses to investors, the chances of your getting rejected is very high. So we prefer that you do some bootstrapping and get to some level of validation before going out to raise money. That is all. There are roundtables every week in June. So if you want to participate, if you want to pitch, just let us know, and Maureen will get you scheduled. That is all. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer questions. Irina is your contact. For after this session, there will be opportunities for you to talk to Irina if you have questions about the program. And that is all.
Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate the honesty and the bluntness. It's for me, it's a learning curve. I'm not discouraged by it whatsoever. I believe that I will be joining the process. I will start, get myself more educated at how your enterprise works. If I have to separate the two businesses from the other, I mean, I'm already doing it. I'm already in the process of benefiting from it. I just want to scale it to the bigger.
If you want to build the e-commerce business as a separate business, then you need a business model for the e-commerce business. The e-commerce business needs to stand on its own feet and become a profitable, sustainable business in its own right. And that's the work that you're going to need to do, is to figure out how that business makes money.
Yeah, it's plain and simple. Very, very good. I like the definition that you said. Nobody has ever said, hey, everybody says, yeah, it's a good idea, but nobody has looked at it from one perspective and the other. I think that.
And the other thing I will tell you, Federico, just FYI, since you have these two businesses and one is property buying and selling, these prop tech guys, the prop tech investors, don't necessarily invest in buying and selling of property. They invest in these technology solutions to doing some things, to making some real estate process interesting, and they tend to invest in low asset business models. So I would say keep the property buying and selling very separate from whatever you decide to do with the e-commerce business. I think you're going to need to find a business model there we can help you. There we can definitely help you. That kind of work we do very well.
So get to work.
Get to work. That's the right attitude. Get to work.
Hey, it's been in the making for quite some time, so I'm not about to give up. So you'll hear from me soon.
No one should give up. That is the entrepreneur's first principle is don't give up.
Thank you.
All right, folks. I think we've covered everybody's points. We will see you next week. Thank you for coming today. Bye.